The Team Lally Show was previously recorded.
It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. For the next full hour, Hawaii's premier real estate leader, Adrienne Lally, and Attilio Leonardi will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, Adrienne and Attilio.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Hey, everybody. This is Attilio with Attilio's Random Thoughts. What are we going to talk about? That's right. It's random. No. It's not random. So I want to talk about the fact that there's a gap. And this gap creates potbellies. This gap creates challenging relationships. This gap creates bad credit. This gap creates stress and drama. And sometimes you just got to take your shirt off. You know, Hawaii, I noticed like local people I was born and raised here. So we all, my kids and stuff like that, especially when you're younger, you just walk around with your shorts in the house. Because I grew up, there was no air conditioning in homes. I grew up born in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I don't think, the only time you saw air conditioning is at the hotel.
Or at the mall.
Yeah, I guess so, at the mall, Windward Mall. But anyway, I remember going to Sears. This is dating me, and playing Pong at Sears. That was the highlight of my day. And, you got to take your shirt off, relax. And the gap I'm talking about is the gap between what we know, concepts, ideas, theories, and the execution of those things. We know we need to exercise and get sleep and eat right, and we won't be fluffy. Unless you're Fluffy Iglesias, who wears a triple XL Aloha shirt, and he's a professional comedian. He likes being fluffy.
That's part of his brand.
Yeah. And, we know that there are things that we need to do for our relationships, or things that we need to do for our work, for our business, that creates income, cash flow, and all of that. So I want to talk to you about a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution, and they talk about 4 things. They studied all these businesses and found that there were 4 things that are components of, not necessarily steps or in a particular order, but things that you need to be aware of to go from idea to execution. And there's no order of importance, but one of them is, if you don't do it, pay somebody to slap you in the head. No, one of them was take a look at leading indicators, take a look at lagging indicators, have goals. What is it? WIG, wildly important goals. Mm-hmm. And then the last one was... you
want to have a scoreboard.
Yeah, you want to have a scoreboard. Scoreboard. Now, here's the thing about scoreboards. And we're going to bring on somebody who is he's like an NFL football player. You don't want the NFL football player looking up the scoreboard every 5 seconds. You want the NFL football player on the field, in the game. And talking about somebody who's in the game, you know what that game is? Property management.
We've got Duke Kim Han of Hawaii Pacific Property Management with his tip of the week.
Hey. You guys hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. Didn't you play football?
Okay.
You played football, right?
I did at Roosevelt years ago.
Yeah.
But that in high school, when you're in high school, you never forget those high school times. It's burned into your memory forever. The smell of the field, the smell of the sweat in the locker room. Yeah, and all that kind of stuff is so much fun. But as you get into a profession, you want to be the best at it. It's just the way that you want to find somebody who wants to be good at it.
Yeah.
And I find that when owners come to me and they ask me property management questions, rarely do they ask me about eviction. If you're a property owner, that should be your primary concern, because it doesn't happen very often, but if it will happen to your property management company will pass that expense on to the owner.
Yeah.
So not only do you have eviction expenses, you have no rent to cover it. That's why you're in eviction. And now that the state went into COVID mode, it made everybody go and do a 2-week mediation. And most of the time, the attorneys are the ones that do that.
Yeah.
So the eviction costs just went up from $5,000 to like $6,000.
Oh.
Because your attorney has to go and answer all these mediation things and then has to go to the mediation for you.
Yeah.
It's just something that I find very odd in the world of property management, that owners don't ask me that question right out of the gate. Who covers our eviction costs if there's an eviction in our property? Now, when I went to court, 3 times in 10 years,
yeah,
there is a line of people lying. The whole docket is full. So from 8 o'clock in the morning when you walk into eviction court, or maybe 8:30, till 4:30 in the afternoon, the docket is full of evictions, one after the other. There's probably like 20. And they call them all out to make sure you're in the courtroom. And if you're last, you're going to wait.
Yeah.
So if that's the case every time I went, it's probably the case every day of the week. So there's a lot of evictions going on. And how do you avoid that is to hire a property manager who's going to ask some really, really tough questions of your tenants before they are allowed to get the keys of your unit.
Yeah, one of them is, have any of the past landlords pressed charges?
Yeah. Do you have any pending evictions or past evictions on your record?
Yeah.
Right?
But you guys actually can verify that. You don't have to wait for their response. It's a verifiable situation.
Yeah.
We eviction guarantee our tenants. I don't know anybody else who's doing that in our market. I will tell you that if I put a tenant in and there's an eviction on that tenant, that I'll pay the eviction cost to do it.
Yeah.
That's how sure we are.
Yeah,
and in those 3 occasions that we had to go to eviction court, I did pay for the eviction.
And took care of it.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot. Over the last 10 years, only 3 times has, the whole process of screening the tenants, has it, maybe like something was missed or something completely changed in that tenant circumstance that was just unavoidable. Right?
That's right. And what's really interesting is, of the 3, one of them was a military eviction.
Yeah.
And the military attorneys didn't fight me on that.
Yeah.
So they get free legal.
Mm-hmm.
I think when owners don't ask you about evictions, that reminded me of a missing leg. There was this is true story. Had a motivational speaker and she had a missing leg.
Oh yeah.
She didn't talk about it. She didn't bring it up. But what do you think everybody's thinking?
Like, what happened to your leg?
What happened to your leg? Got to ask about the eviction. That's how you should be thinking about it. You should ask.
I think consumers they don't know because they're not educated. They don't understand the severity of the situation should an eviction happen to them.
Yeah.
Sure. It's like when you go and get a job and you're going to the interview, you don't talk about pay. Right? I mean, you assume everybody knows what the pay is, but that's something that's rarely talked about until the end.
Yeah.
When that's the deciding factor all along on who you're going to choose is the person that's going to guarantee that you're not going to have an eviction in there, or at least you're not going to pay for it.
There was a movie called, I think it was Pacific Heights, where this renter it was the renter from hell. Everybody should watch that film as like a scared straight for property owners.
If you're going to be an investor, you must watch this film.
Yeah.
And we have 200,000 rental units on this island.
Yeah.
And we have people coming from all over the world to live here.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people. I'd say about 25% of all the applicants we get don't have a Social Security number.
That can be kind of complicated.
That's complicated,
what
right?
Are they wanted by the FBI? How come they don't want Social Security?
They're not from the U.S.
Oh, they're not from the U.S.
That's right.
Okay.
Only the United States has a Social Security number.
Gotcha.
So your FICO score is not going to be a FICO score.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a score. It's not going to be an official score.
Gotcha.
But anyway, that's my tip of the week.
Okay.
Excellent tip.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Duke.
All right. Bye-bye.
Don't be afraid to ask a one-legged motivational speaker about what happened to your leg. Same thing about evictions.
Yes, about the evictions.
Yeah.
So give Duke and his team a call. You can find them on our website, teamlally.com, under the resource tab and experts we trust.
All right, next expert that we trust is it's about getting rid of the pests in your life. Mm-hmm. You know, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends that they just don't want to let go. No, not that kind of pests. What kind of pests, Adrian?
The bugs, the rodents, birds. You name it, they cover it.
Taylor, Kilauea Pest Control. What's the weirdest pest that you guys have had to get rid of?
Well, if I were to feed right into your normal jokes, the karaoke neighbors next door.
Yeah.
Right? The green bottle karaoke neighbors.
Yeah.
No, I was actually thinking of trying to think of a unique pest to talk about this week. And I was thinking about talking a little bit about powder post beetles. Have you heard of those before?
Powder post beetles? No. They came after the beetles? What?
So powder post beetles, they are a wood-boring beetle, so they eat wood, kind of like termites, right? But they're a totally different thing, right? So termite droppings, dry wood termite droppings, look almost like sand, kind of larger inside compared to powder post beetles. Powder post beetles, their droppings is kind of a fine, powdery, almost like sawdust, but very fine powder, right? So, they're kind of unique, but in the sense that they're super resilient. I would say out of all the bugs in Hawaii and most places, they're the hardest one to kill. They're so resilient. And so to put that into context, so when you fumigate a house for drywood termites, there's a certain amount of Viking gas that's used to make sure it fills the whole house, saturates the wood to kill the colonies inside the wood, right? Mm-hmm. So a powder post beetle takes 10 times the amount of gas as drywood termites to kill. If you think about that, Viking gas, there's a reason why you stay out of the house for a night or a couple of nights, depending on the type of bug. It's because it's pretty toxic, right? But it needs to be to kill the bugs. And so powder post beetles are very resilient. And to complicate things even further is there's such things as called a powder post beetle and a false powder post beetle. And they can take completely different concentrations of gas and length of time, and also follow-up services to look at. So I can get into that more if you want. Maybe it's kind of boring for you, but the moral of the story is there's some weird, unique bugs like that in Hawaii, and sometimes they get passed up as termites or not knowing it is, or just like sand or something, but they are eating your wood, and they will spread to your other wood and kind of mess up some of your furniture there.
Taylor, how often do you guys come across these powder post beetles? Are they very rare or pretty frequently?
You know, we do a decent amount of treatments, and so something that we do differently, like we can provide fumigation, and sometimes that is a good way to do it. Sometimes it's vault fumigation, so you're actually transporting that piece of furniture to like a shipping container or something that we have at a lot that's then tented that thing. But one thing that we do differently, do quite a bit of that not too many companies do, is we do orange oil treatments. And orange oil is one of the few, it's probably the only treatment that we have confidence in besides fumigation to kill powder post beetles. It just needs to be done correctly and in the right way with someone who knows what they're looking at, because if you miss the spot, then nothing's going to happen. So it takes some expertise. They're kind of one that really takes a professional eye to know how to get rid of, right? Because they're so hard to do so.
The powder post beetle and the false powder post vehicle. Have you been catfished by a false
powder post beetle?
Have you been catfished by them? You thought it was the real
Actually,
one?
It does happen.
Okay.
Like there's beetles like in food. Sometimes those get mislabeled as a powder post beetle, and there's some weird complications that happens with that. With people fumigate a house for powder post beetles, and they take all their food out of their pantry, and then they bring it all back in, and they still have beetles because they removed all the beetles and brought them right back in after they tinted, and they think it didn't work, but they
put them in.
Took all the bugs to safety and then brought them right back.
It was in the loaf of bread, so they went away for a witness protection program and unidentified location, and they came right back.
Exactly. Yeah, so. You put in way better words than I did.
Well, thank you, Taylor. Excellent tip, and it was nice to learn about these powder post beetles and what to look for, and to know that Kilauea Pest Control has a plan. Randall. Yes.
They got this guy named Randall, and he can handle.
That's right.
10 times more of the fumigant. And anyway, so thanks so much, Taylor.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so to get a hold of Taylor and the Kilauea Pest Control team, you just got to go to our website and click on the resource tab and click that experts we trust.
Go to the resource tab. We put things on there that are, truly resourceful, resources that you can take a look at. And we've done the homework. Hey, if you're a realtor out there and you don't want to spend all that time doing the homework, you can use
borrow
our guys
ours.
too.
Yeah.
You can borrow. Put them back when you're done. Mm-hmm. Next up,
we've got Bradley Maruyama from Allstate Insurance with his tip of the week.
Tip of the week. Hey, Bradley.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Awesome.
Okay. I think maybe a couple of weeks ago we talked about that one insured that had the condo claim, and making sure that you have the right building coverage or dwelling coverage on your HO6 or condo policy.
Yeah.
We also talked about the renter's insurance that is very inexpensive, and where does that money come from for that tenant to be relocated where the condo is being mitigated for water and the construction time. And so we talked about renter's insurance.
Yeah.
But now let's go to phase 2. We always talk about the moment of truth. So now we have this condo that had an HO6 policy. The association also has a policy to cover things. But now this claim was stagnant for 2 weeks, right? So my insured called me and said, Brad, what do? We're stuck. We're not getting answers. So, it's very important when you go through these claims to include the property manager. So whether it's a Hawaiiana or someone similar, you get the resident manager, you get your insurance agent, and you also get the AOL insurance agent all on an email chain.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why it's important is so many times one party will ghost you. Sometimes 2 and sometimes all 4.
Yeah.
But in this case, I was able to jump on. Once I got all the information, I was able to tie all 5 parties together. Where does the bills go to? Who's paying for it? Does the insurer have to pay it out of pocket and get reimbursed? So within 3 hours, we were able to get my insured the contact of where all the bills go to, what the process will be, and, where do the estimates get emailed to and how it will be paid. But for 2 weeks, my poor insured was told that the AOL was going to take care of it, but had no clue how to handle it. So once you start getting some troubles, it's very important to do everything in writing, the claims process, and try to get all 4 parties involved, including yourself, so your insurance agent can help advocate and give you that good moment of truth experience. So a lot there, but, it's very important, because if not, your claim is going to drag on from 1 month, 2 weeks, from 2 weeks to a month to 2 months, until now you're frustrated and you're upset.
Well, what's the red flag in that situation? Pay attention, folks. If you're talking to the association manager and they're like, and you ask them, hey, is this covered? And if he says, shoots, that's on red flag.
So Bradley, what you're saying is that communication and getting everybody on the same page and email string is highly important to make sure that the process keeps going, instead of, one person thinking someone else is doing something. But if we're all in this email chain and communication together, it's going to get resolved a lot faster.
Watch the Abbott and Costello routine of who's on first.
Yeah.
What we're talking about. Right. Yeah, recap emails are important.
A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how it was initially stalled, and when you first file the claim, try to get the bylaws to your insurance agent, because the bylaws will help distinguish which party is going to be at fault. So is it going to be the insurance policy up above you? Is it going to be the insurance policy below you? Or is it going to be the association? So that bylaw, getting the bylaws to the insurance adjuster or to the agent can be very effective in alleviating the claim.
Yeah.
Promptly. Because if not, it could, that's what holds up a lot of these claims. And now you start paying for things out of pocket, just because you gotta get things moving. You gotta mitigate that water. So, the more information your insurance agent and adjuster has, the more efficient the claim's going to move.
Yeah, and you got to get it taken right away. You're not going to be sitting around waiting for somebody who told you shoots, and then you're waiting for one return call or emails or any even action taken upon those emails and phone calls. We had just remodeled a unit. Still remember, Pat's at Honolulu. And then it just was all finished. Everything was brand new. And then came one time to the unit, and it was about an inch of water everywhere. Luckily, we had tile, but had bits of rice in it. And I was like, what is this? Somebody was making one cup noodle, like 55-gallon drum of cup noodle, and they spilt it all over the floor. Well, no, what it was the main sewer line. We're on the ground floor, had backed up. But all the people above were people that had lived there. Ours was vacant, and so people, their dishwashers, their kitchen sink is all going in the pipe, and then it's backing up. And the low point of all those in that stack was our unit on the ground floor. So that's where all the stuff was overflowing. They're like happy, they're washing dishes, no big deal, because it's all backing up into our unit. So anyway, good thing we had insurance in place. It was called Attilio with a mop bucket. But anyway, we cleaned it up right away and it got taken care of.
Got it.
So... but that's important to have the insurance in place, because if we hadn't been there, or maybe if we hadn't been there for months, no one would know.
Right.
That would have been pretty gross.
Yeah. And the tenants above would be,
yeah.
They wouldn't know, right? Because everything's working fine for them. But anyway, it's important to make sure that you've got that insurance and that you know what to do at what Bradley calls the moment of truth. Adrian, why do we like to call it the moment of truth in regards to Bradley?
Well, because it's basically, when you actually need that insurance, that the insurance agent, which is Bradley. Well, we personally
know that Bradley will follow through.
Yeah, he shows up, he's on the phone, he's right there by your side, no matter the day or the time. Because a lot of times when you need to use the insurance, it's an emergency. There's some kind of major damage.
And you know what? When Bradley says shoots, you can take that to the bank.
That's right.
All right.
Well, thank you, Bradley.
Thanks, Bradley.
Thank you.
All right. So look for Bradley on teamlally.com on the resource tab under experts we trust. You want to do a couple of our recent reviews before we take a break?
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. So we helped a client, Erica and Kawi Inimoto, and what they had to say was, we had such a positive experience working with Team Lally. We felt there was a great communication along each phase of our selling of our home, and we couldn't have asked for a better team helping us. We would highly recommend Team Lally for all of your buying and selling needs.
Yeah, hey folks, don't take our word for it. Go to our website. You can, or
go to Google. You'll see all the reviews.
Team Lally.
Yeah.
We have no control over the internet. Nobody does, except for the internet people, whoever they may be. But anyway, Google Team Lally. Check out our reviews. I think we've got, what are we up to? About 400?
We have over 400.
Over 400.
Or something. Yep.
Positive reviews. Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, we are about to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking to a successful radio personality and a member of the Honolulu City Council, Augie T, in the house. We'll talk about the latest updates and events from him and how he celebrated Labor Day.
Stay with us.
Tickets 107.9 playing the greatest music ever made. It's Mornings with Augie. Hey, do you own a rental property? Or know a neighbor who moved to the mainland and they'd ask you to check on their rental property? This is the reason I told Rihanna to reach out to our good friends Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. She moved to the mainland a while ago and she was torn between repairing or selling her rental property. So you know what happened, Chaz?
Huh?
Team Lally worked directly with the tenant in her absence to get the property ready for sale. Within 7 days of listing, they received an offer they couldn't refuse. Team Lally also connected Rihanna to a local tax expert before the transaction was finalized. Talk about looking out for your client. Within 30 days, the home was closed and Rihanna never even set foot on the island. Wherever you live now, you can trust Team Lally will work for you. Call them today, 808-799-9596, or visit them online at teamlally.com, spelled Lally. Go check them out, our good friends at Team Lally.
Hello, Hawaii. It's Colin Coward. Things may have changed in the sports world, but the games must go on. Look, I invest in real estate all over America, and right now, with the ultra-low interest rates everywhere, if you're serious about selling your home, you need to talk to my friends Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally, real estate group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Team Lally's incredible marketing with 3D tours and its huge database of buyers has continued to sell homes quickly with multiple offers over the asking price. Adrian and Attilio continue to spend tens of thousands per month on marketing to attract hundreds of buyers every month using a unique app that communicates daily with over 3 million luxury home buyers around the United States. Adrian and Antilio guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it themselves. Give Adrian and Attilio a call at 799-9596 or online at teamlally.com. That's teamlally.com. And start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Hawaii, I would hire Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi. Their marketing strategy is so effective that if your home doesn't sell on terms you agree to, Team Lally will buy it. Partner with the team I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Tired of waiting 2-3 months to finalize your home loan or refinance? Jody Tonga and her team at Pacific Rim Mortgage have a turn time of 30 days or less by processing your loans locally.
Take advantage of today's low interest rates by calling our good friend Jody Tonga of Pacific Rim Mortgage. Her personal cell is 488-5510. That's 488-5510.
Hey, Adrian, guess what?
What, Attilio?
Jody has a huge secret.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
I can tell you.
Yes, you can.
Okay, here it is. Jody has a free home buying guide that reveals insider tips others may not want you to know.
Wow, how do I get this free home buying guide?
Easy. Just go to her website, pacificrim.com. That's PAC or PACRIMNTG.com.
I see the free home buyer guide has valuable information that can help me avoid mistakes and could cost me tens of thousands of dollars over the lifetime of my loan.
Yes. So check out their site. That's pacificrim.com, or give her a call at 488-5510. That's 488-5510. What's the website?
It's PAC, P-A-C, RIM, R-I-M, Mortgage, MTG.com. Hawaii, NMLS ID 1032554.
The Team Lally Real Estate Show continues.
Give it to me, I'm worth it.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Our guest today is an American politician and a member of the Honolulu City Council. He started his career in comedy in the 1990s, but came to prominence in the 2000s.
Augie was born in 1968 and is the second oldest of 6 children. He grew up in the Kamehameha IV Housing Project, known as to the Hawaii residents as Kam IV Housing, in Kalihi Valley, a working class area in urban Honolulu. He became a Golden Gloves champion boxer at age 16.
In 2002, Augie was voted Comedian of the Year as the funniest comic in Hawaii by the Honolulu Star-Bulletin and MidWeek newspapers. He's the only local comedian to sell out the Blaisdell Arena, Augie T, Blaisdell Arena Show. Oh, you have a DVD.
Mm-hmm.
And is recognized as one of Hawaii's top 100 influential Filipinos with an exhibit at the Bishop Museum.
Wow. I did not know that.
And he has
Museum.
He has a brass statue in Waikiki. Oh, wait. No, that's the Duke. Sorry.
Maybe that's coming next.
That's some different Filipino.
Maybe it's later.
Duke Hanamoku.
Yes.
Anyway, Augie, are you there?
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Did I do all that?
You know what? This is like in the 50s. You know, they had that show. This is your life.
You're quite an amazing guy.
I'm listening. I'm going, I got to go do a fat check myself. No, that's pretty.
Mine,
I'm so thankful, and I've lived a pretty colorful life.
Yeah.
And you still got more in you. I think the best is yet to come.
Yes. So, Augie.
I hope so.
Yeah, Augie. The you know, I know this is what's the disclaimer we got to get out of the way. This is not
endorsed by the city and county of Honolulu.
So that reminds me of
Thank you guys
this.
so much for doing that.
Yes.
Disclaimer.
Not endorsed by the city and county of Honolulu, but
endorsed by Adrian and Attilio.
But I got to tell you
Team
this.
Lally.
Thank you. I had to step out of city council because we have a full day of hearings so that I can do this radio show, because this is an important radio show.
All right.
You guys are getting so much information, and first off, I want to say thank you guys for Team Lally for gifting kids to come see the show next week Saturday. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Laugh with Aloha. Let's talk a little bit more about that, Augie, and how our listeners can support and help this very important cause.
The Hawaii Theater?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what happened was, with the help of great sponsorships, you know, after being locked down for almost 2 years, I just felt like it was a need to come back and do something to get people out of their homes, sitting down, laughing. And so the theater, I had to rent the theater for a day. And I was like, man, that's a lot of bread to rent the theater. So I was like, what do you think if you guys could help me out and we do something cool, do a matinee, invite first responders, invite, kupuna, families that have assistants, and, of course, the military. And they were like, yeah, we can do something like that. But I want to do the tickets at $10. Can we do a $10 ticket? Because we all know, the historic Hawaii Theater, the beautiful renovation, and they try to keep the theater pristine, so nice they were like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So many of us have never been to the theater. And one of the things that really inspired me as a young man growing up in Kalihi was I was introduced to the arts at a very young age.
Yeah.
And I went to a theater show, and it blew my mind, and that changed the way I saw life, and what I wanted to become. So I just felt like it was a great opportunity to bring people to the theater and witness, an entertainment, a performance, and hopefully it'll inspire, kids in there who, want to check up on what, I've done in my past, and I can tell that cool story of how it all started for me. And it was coming to a performance and, watching an entertainer blow me away, and I went in fourth grade. I told myself that's what I want to become. I want to become a stand-up comedian.
Oh wow!
It's because I was brought to a performance. Because like Adrian, when she introduced me, I grew up in public housing, so going to these performances was almost cannot, because we just couldn't afford it.
You're sitting at home, no more AC, sweating your coli off. You come to this thing, you're like, oh, wow.
He was sitting in his DVD.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, we couldn't.
You're sitting at home in his bevvies, but he put pants on for the show.
Yeah, put the pants on.
For the show. I saw, I was on in Eva Beach, and I saw some graffiti, and it said, got bevvies. I'm like, who is walking around with no underwear? That they have to have this reminder.
You'd be surprised.
Got bevvies.
You'd be surprised, Attilio. Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Well, after the pandemic, I went commando. Just kidding. No, I'm not.
Yeah, so no, for me, it was just kind of what a great opportunity to, one, do a theater do a performance in the theater where it all started for me. I've been in this career now for 30 years, but I never stopped making money till about the 15th year. And I did that after I did the show at the Hawaii Theater. We videotaped it, and at that time, people bought, DVDs and videotapes, and I was able to, with that money, send my kids to school.
Yeah.
And just, it kind of propelled my career. So going back there 30 years since the time I started, it's not only going to be fun, but hopefully inspiring for the people that's coming to watch the matinee show, the people that you guys supporting, to come out and watch the show with you guys' sponsorship. So I'm more excited about the matinee show than my nighttime show, which we're going to be filming, because of, what it represents. So thank you guys for doing that.
Augie, is there still tickets available for the nighttime show?
Well,
the nighttime show.
Mm-hmm.
So both the daytime show. If you want to take advantage of the $10 tickets, you gotta go to the theater box office. So again, if you're a first responder, military, kupuna over 65, and you have family assistance like the EBT card, all you have to do is go down to the theater and show that identification, and they'll give the tickets for $10, and it comes with a theater fee because we want to keep the theater pristine.
Yes.
If you want to go to the nighttime show, you can buy those tickets online or at the box office. Tickets start at $20, even $20. When was the last time you went to any show and paid $20?
That's a bargain.
You spend more money at the movies.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. So if you buy the tickets online, so the tickets start at $20 for the nighttime show, and at your checkout, the discounted code, if you put in Domino's, because they're one of our sponsors, they're knocking off $10 off the ticket.
Wow.
So there's $20, $30, and $50 tickets. You can, put the promo code, and it'll take out the $10, from the original price. So take advantage of that. I'm I'm at a point in my career where I'm having so much fun, and I'll thank Attilio, because Attilio, he mentors me. And in the beginning, Attilio told me, I got to get on schedule. You got to do this, and I'm telling you, I'm able to wear 3 hats because of just now understanding the importance of, living by on calendar.
Yeah.
Because, you find yourself scattered all over the place, and you cannot do that. And
I remember,
because I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just remember in the beginning I said, Augie, when you say shoots to everything, you saying shoots to nothing.
Mm-hmm. So he does some time blocking. He has some time blocking and time management that's going on.
You gotta use this word from Waianae. No. Oh, can you come do this? Can you come do that? Can you come do this? And then over there, and it's all at the same time in 3 parts of the island. No.
So
prior to that, right? Yeah. Prior to that, I did that. That's how I lived my life, because I felt like I needed to be everywhere. I needed to be in front of people. Yeah. And then I started doing this job here at the City Council, and then I realized, when you're responsible for over 157,000 registered voters, you're not going to make everybody happy. You cannot split yourself up in, 4 to 5 Augies, and you gotta be disciplined. And I never realized that until months into it, and now it's been almost 2 years, and I'm still learning, but I'm understanding the importance of living by a calendar, because you're not going to satisfy everybody.
No.
So no use driving yourself crazy and trying to do that. And the beautiful thing is, because this job is so stressful, I get the opportunity to jump on stage on the weekend. It's for my own personal mental health. People always ask me, why you do that? Why are you doing radio in the morning and then going to City Council and then doing stand-up on the weekend? And it's because it helps my own mental illness, and I love performing.
Yes.
So you have a radio morning show. What channel can our listeners find you on and listen to you? And from what time to what time?
Where on the dial?
Yeah. Where can they tune in for more Augie?
It's the last dial on the radio, 107.9. It's decades. So if you love listening to Fleetwood Mac, Michael Jackson, Huey Lewis, who else? Elton John. I think you're going to enjoy listening to us in the morning.
Deep Purple, Judas Priest. No. It's more of
Once
like...
in a while, with my toe indoors. Yeah, yeah.
No, I
get rebellious in the morning.
I like to listen to you guys on my way into the gym.
Yeah.
Because we go to our 6:15 workout every morning at F45. And always listening to Augie to start my day.
I appreciate you.
Well, I think what's important for you in your political position, this show is not endorsed by City County of Honolulu, is that you really have your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the community because you're in the community. You're in the trenches, as we say.
Serving the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Honestly, and the way we're going to change our community is not relying on government, but really having great private and public partnerships.
Yes.
Working with nonprofits. I think that's the most exciting part about being in this position. I already did that prior to coming into office, but the office gave me the ability to put the right people in the room and go, what can we do to help change our community? Like, really change our community. So, like, that's the one thing that I'm, like, so thankful for, that, it gave me that opportunity.
Well, Abraham Lincoln said you can't keep all the people happy all of the time. And Uncle Willie from Kalihi, he said, you can't piss off some of the people some of the time, but you can piss off all of the people all of the time. No. Let's go with the first one. Can't keep all the people happy all of the time. And you got to realize that, right? Because if you're trying to keep everybody happy, it's not.
It's impossible.
It's not realistic.
Adrian, I don't know how you do it with Attilio. You know why? Because you don't know if he's being serious or he's throwing a curveball.
I keep him. It's like I'm a boxer. You got to keep you on the ropes. Keep you on your toes. Keep you on your toes.
He gets sidetracked a lot.
Yeah.
So you got to just bring him back. My
favorite line is, what was I talking about?
Yes.
People always help me out.
Okay, so back to the Laugh with Aloha. That's on September 17th is the date. And you have an afternoon show and an evening show. There's still tickets available. We have reduced price tickets for our first responders, military, kapuna.
And families with assistance.
Families with assistance.
If you have an EBT card and, you just show your card and you can get those $10 tickets. With the fee. I'm excited about this routine because, it's a new routine. And, of course, you got to do some of your classic favorites. It's like going to watch Prince and he not sing Purple Rain. So, and I understand that. But I'm having so much fun. And I never realized, because there was a side of me 2.5 years ago when I said, this was going to be my last show. I was just going to do small parties. And I was really serious because I wanted to, get focused and really learning how to do this job good, the city council. But after being locked up like most people, and I realized how much I miss comedy and how much it's so important in my life.
I know. I remember you went to your parole officer and said, I got to do new things because you was locked up. We don't mean that locked up. We mean like the COVID, right? Home sheltering.
I'm sure you got lots of fun new stories to share that are like quite hilarious.
Yeah.
Right. It was my wife. She was like, can we have quality time? And we had quantity time. Then she just wanted to kick me out of the house.
He's like, too much quality time.
So
too much now.
So Augie, I got to ask. So is the matinee show? Is it like more of a clean comedy, and then evening is, or they're both the same?
No,
it's all clean.
One of the things that I'm so thankful for is that I've always worked clean.
Yeah.
And so the daytime show is just something, like I said, it's a give back show. And, I know that majority of the people that are going to be in that show, because sponsors, supporting a group or, giving the tickets away to people who really, need to laugh. So like, I'm looking for, the show is not different, the same show. I'm ready to, I've been doing all these small shows. If you following me on social media, I've been going to places like Kohala, places like Pahala, Waimea, because unlike a lot of other comics, I can't just show up to do like an open mic. People want to expect, 100% Augie. And for me, I felt like I needed to work on my routine, and I needed stage time. And the only way I could get stage times is like, go find small neighborhoods and charge it $10 and go work out. So I was able to work out this last couple of weeks, jumping on stage and, really fine tuning this show. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to making a lot of people laugh.
What I love about Augie, he's so dedicated. He even went ni hao, and he did his whole show in Hawaiian. He even hiked down to Kalaupapa, the highest sea cliffs in the world. He hiked all the way down to do a show.
No, but for real though, he did go. Yeah. He went out to Youth Challenge. I know that you go out to Youth Challenge quite frequently, and you speak to those kids and inspire them and make them laugh. So thank you for doing that.
I love going there because in some small ways that was Attilio 20, 30 years ago.
Inspiring little Attilios at Youth Challenge.
I'm really happy to be here at Koholave. All you bomb craters, I'm glad you came out to see my show today. But I think humor. I think what people really are attracted to you and why they want to follow and you're a good leader is that we see the same thing about us in real estate. We don't take ourselves seriously, but we take what we do seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and then I realized that, this is much more than just, getting on stage and being, it's a business and, you need to take care of your business. And I've been blessed 30 years. I was doing it when I had to walk around, put posters around town and try to beg to get on anybody's radio show. Now, the kids get the social media, they're pressed and they become stars.
Yeah.
And, to last this long, 30 years, it's just a testament of hard work. No bragging. It's just, I walk into places and I still get the same feeling, I'm just blown away that people came and spend some money to watch a guy talk and tell stories. And I think that's the coolest thing to do. I think it's the coolest business anybody can get into. So, if, some kid or someone gets inspired on next Saturday, I did what I think God has planted me on this planet to do is to make people laugh and, hopefully inspire the next generation of local comics that,
that's how I look at it is you have a profession and a trade that very few people are successful at. We were in New York City, right? I mean, we were in Greenwich Village.
We went to all the
Mount
clubs.
Everest of comedy places. You'd be out there and Dave Chappelle might show up or Jerry Seinfeld or, any of these guys, and they're really testing out their comedy. And, most of these guys are they're working the door, they're handing out flyers.
They're hustling.
For you, you're hustling in a different way and giving back to the community in that it's not just one comedy thing after another thing and you're just trying to build up yourself as an entertainer. You are playing at the one of the toughest gigs on the planet, which is down at the city council and having to partake in the all of that decision making down there, which is critically important for our community.
Augie, do you use humor to get through to the others when you're trying to get your point across to get them on your side?
Sometimes.
It's an interesting place because I tried. Give me as an example. A couple months into, winning the election, I sit on the Parks committee, and I chair the Parks. And Mexico gave us a gift of a hippopotamus. And now going through the whole process, you have to hear from the director from the zoo, the administration, and, you ask questions like, is the hippopotamus going to be here on time? And they answer in a very, and that's what everybody has a cadence. This is, people talk in a cadence and they're talking abbreviations and, I have to learn how to fit in. And then, after asking, is there any reservations? Anybody else want to speak? Okay. And then I did the whole, is anybody here to speak on behalf of, no. And I go, is anybody here to speak on behalf of the hippopotamus? And kind of throwaway line. And everybody was like kind of looking at me like, oh my God, this place is that dry? Like nobody caught on that. I just kind of threw in something just to make people laugh. Mm-hmm. But, because people are serious. People want to see their leaders get stuff done, and I get it. I do. But I do find that being an entertainer for the last 30 years helps with bringing, especially when it's a heated debate and people get very passionate. I can kind of walk into the room and go, ooh, let's just kind of calm down a little bit, use maybe a little humor. But like at the end of the day, like I think I was brought here to like bring people together. And like there's no reason for that. We're not in high school anymore. We're adults. Let's sit down. Let's agree to disagree. Yeah. That's only one of the biggest reasons why I love doing it is because, man, you learn, and I'm a people watcher. So like I'm learning from so much different people, so much great leaders, and interesting people in our community. Yeah. You listen to them. Everybody has some unique ideas. People get some great solutions, and that's the cool thing about doing it is because now, I get to be a part of an amazing discussion that maybe can help change policy. And, at the end of the day, we want to make our lives easier in Hawaii. And that's what I fight for every day. I try to look.
Yeah, I mean, how can you stay focused on that topic? I mean, all I would be thinking about was that happy hippopotamus game.
The hungry hippos.
Hungry hippo game. And like, that's what I would be thinking the whole time they're talking about this hippopotamus. They'd be like directing a question. City Councilman Leonardi.
I fight so hard and making sure that the one place that we still go to that's free. I mean, if you just close your eyes, think about, people love coming here to Hawaii, but, we've had challenges with toilet paper at parks. And, you see some of our parks on our website is so dilapidated, I just think, like, just imagine if, we were known not only as the most amazing place to come to, but our parks, green, clean. The one place where you still can go that's free. A lot of, if I had that magic wand, that's what I would do. Make sure that all our parks, because that's where we learn a lot of our social skills, a lot of, the way we view life because of what we did in the parks. Yeah. And that's why I love being the chair of parks because I want to, I walk to some of our parks and I just, I don't remember.
I think we're going to support you with a park cleanup.
Yes.
On the shout outs on that. So we need to do some park cleanups.
Come join you in Eva Beach or Kapolei, wherever. You let us know. We'll be there.
Just like when we have our best guests on the show, time runs out and we are out of time.
So until next time, Augie.
Council.
Yeah.
We'll get back to work.
I know, right?
All right.
Thanks, you, Augie.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jody and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley with Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke with Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Kyle with Impact Wealth Solutions.
Robinson with Fine Line Paintworks.
Chastity of American Floor and Home.
Jake with Skytech Construction, Roofing and Solar.
Ryan with Zero Res Hawaii.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio.
Chee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life
forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
sold program.
We
can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and or time frame. We'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks and aloha. Okay.
The preceding program was sponsored by Team Lally.